We often tell ourselves that the path to success is a solitary one, a steep climb where every foothold must be secured by our own hands. We think asking for help is a confession of weakness, of admitting defeat in a world that seems to only celebrate the self-made. But what if that stubborn independence, that pride we wear like armor, isn't a shield, but a cage? What if it's the very thing holding us back? This is the story of David, a young man convinced he had to build his future alone, brick by solitary brick. He lived in the small village of Oakhaven, a place where life moved with the seasons. David was a carpenter, a craft passed down from his late father. His workshop was a humble shack, and every day, from dawn till dusk, he worked alone. The sweet smell of sawdust filled the air as he built sturdy chairs and mended broken tables for his neighbors. After all the sweat and effort, he often made just enough to buy bread, some vegetables for a thin soup, and firewood to keep his sick mother warm. But David dreamed of more. As dusk settled, he'd look past the fields to the distant hills and whisper, "One day, I will have a grand furniture store. People will travel from far-off cities just to buy my furniture." But reality was harsh. Every time he saved a few coins, an unexpected expense would snatch them away. A leaky roof, a broken tool, or costly medicine for his mother, Ilara. Some villagers laughed at his ambition. "David," one farmer called out, "you can barely afford timber for a single chair, and you dream of a great store. You're chasing the moon in a puddle." The words stung, but they also lit a fire of defiance in him. He would prove them all wrong. One day, a traveling merchant named Mr. Aziz appeared at his workshop. He commissioned a large, ornate dining table, a piece far more complex than anything David had ever made. He gave him 1 week and offered a payment that made David's breath catch. This was his big break. For 2 days, David worked with feverish energy, but on the 3rd day, disaster struck. He realized he'd miscalculated and was out of the special oak he needed. He rushed to the wood supplier, but an early cold snap had doubled the prices. He couldn't afford it. Panic set in. He couldn't ask Mr. Aziz for more money. His pride wouldn't allow it. Desperate, he went to a local moneylender, who just laughed and turned him away. That night, David sat outside his shop, the half-finished table looming like a monument to his failure. Was this all just foolishness? In his despair, he remembered his mother's gentle voice from years ago. Every great journey begins with a single, small step. Do not be afraid to start. The memory was a flicker of light in his darkness. The next morning, he took a huge risk. He gathered the few small, finished pieces he had and traveled to the city. He set up a tiny stall in the bustling market. For hours, people hurried past. Hope began to fade. But then, a wealthy, elegantly dressed woman paused, her eyes drawn to the delicate carvings on his chairs. "This is remarkable work," she declared, and bought them all. With a pouch heavy with coins, David bought the finest oak and returned home. He worked through the night and finished the table just as the sun rose on the 7th day. Mr. Aziz was beyond impressed. "You are a truly talented young man, David," he said, pressing the promised payment into his hand, along with a generous bonus. "Never give up on your dream." This success was just the beginning. Word of David's skill spread like wildfire. Soon, a prominent businessman from the city placed an order of staggering proportions, 10 large, intricate dining tables, to be delivered in just 1 month. The payment was a fortune, enough to build his new workshop and secure his mother's future. It was the opportunity of a lifetime, but it was also an impossible task for one man. Yet, his pride deafened him to reason. He said yes. His calculations were brutal. If he worked from before sunrise until after midnight, every single day, he might just make it. But first, he needed money for the high-quality wood. With a heavy heart, David made a painful decision. He sold the last memory of his father, a beautiful, old gold watch. Sometimes you have to risk what is precious to achieve something great, he told himself. He bought the timber and began his grueling marathon. His world shrank to the four walls of his workshop. He barely ate or slept. His hands became cracked and raw. The villagers would pass by, their faces etched with concern. "David, take a break," they'd urge, but he waved them off. "I'm fine," he'd mutter. In the final week, with 9 tables complete, disaster struck again. As he assembled the last table, a crucial leg piece, weakened by a hidden flaw, snapped under pressure. The sound of cracking wood echoed in the silent workshop like a gunshot. That was the sound of David's spirit breaking. He sank to the floor, utterly defeated. It was then that his mother, Ilara, walked in. "Son," she said softly, "you have to take care of yourself. If your health breaks, all this success will mean nothing." Through tears, David looked up. "I just want to prove I can do this, Mom. I want to get us out of this poverty." She knelt beside him. "I know how much your dream means to you, but a single tree, no matter how strong, can be toppled by a great wind. A forest, with its roots intertwined, stands strong. If you try to carry all the weight of the world alone, you will be crushed. Asking for help isn't a weakness, David. It is wisdom. True strength is about knowing when to share the load. Look around you, your friends, your neighbors. They will be proud to stand by you." Her words broke through the thick wall of pride David had built. The next morning, humbled but clear-headed, he stepped out of his workshop. He walked over to Thomas, the very farmer who had once mocked him, and asked for help. To his surprise, a look of respect crossed Thomas's face. "Of course," he said simply. Soon, others joined. The blacksmith mended his tools, farmers helped move the heavy tables, and other villagers helped sand and varnish. The workshop, once a place of solitary struggle, was now filled with collaboration and laughter. Together, they finished the entire order with a day to spare. When the businessman arrived, he was astounded not only by the quality of the tables, but by the sight of the community working as one. With the money, David didn't just expand his shop, he built a new, larger one. He hired several young men from the village to work with him. His dream of a grand furniture store was finally taking shape. But the biggest thing he had gained wasn't a building or a reputation. It was the profound understanding that achieving a dream requires more than just talent and hard work. It requires humility, connection, and the courage to ask for help. Thank you so much for watching. We hope David's story resonated with you. Remember, you don't have to carry your burdens alone. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories. We'll see you in the next one.